Hello YouTube, Deacon Do here with another About video. This one, as the title says, is about Twitch. Now, this is a video that I have teased multiple times in my About Charlie Kirk video, about content creators, and we're going to go back to content creators and how I feel that they're fake. That'll be another video. We'll deep dive into what I touched on just a little bit, but this video is about Twitch. And for some of you on YouTube, you may not know this, but I know I've been asked on Twitch, why aren't you streaming anymore? Actually, I've been asked on YouTube from Twitch viewers, hey, you haven't streamed in a while. What's up? I've not streamed since late July. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And I don't know for sure if Twitch is going to be in my future plans once I come back to streaming. I just don't know. I don't know if what I have to say is going to fly on Twitch, because I'm not going to be part of their, cool kids club. I'm not going to fit into their ideology. And a lot of this has to do with the murder of Charlie Kirk and how I've been more outspoken. But today's video, I want to talk about how Twitch does not care about you. Even if you fit their ideology, they're only using their ideology to make you feel important. They just care about money, and they lose a ton of it, and pushing their own ideology. How do they push their own ideology? Celebrating only specific groups of people. And so let's real quick, we're going to look at, this is all of the posts on Twitch's blog from this year. And, there's quite a few subjects in here that range from, games to TwitchCon to, highlighting different groups of people. But what I really want to look at here, and I'm going to scroll back down, is right here. Celebrating international women on Twitch. So March 8th was International Women's Day. And Twitch, as is their right, it's their platform, they made a blog post about it. And we're going to get into that blog post in a minute. But if they posted this, for sure, they were going to post something about International Men's Day on their blog, right? It would only be fair. Well, International Men's Day was November 19th. Huh. I don't see it here. Interesting. I mean, I see how they're trying to get people to spend money on subs and get Discord Nitro. Okay, cool. But no mention of International Men's Day as like the main title of a blog post. Well, that's interesting. Well, let's look at that International Women's Day post. And one of the things and now this is, granted, this is a little bit further down, right? But they want to celebrate international women within Twitch. Okay, cool. But when you actually look at it, they have these unity guilds that are international interest. Okay. And you look at these guilds, and I'm not going to flashbang you by actually clicking on the guild page, because the guild page pretty much says the same thing here. But you can see they have 4 guilds: Latin Guild, Black Guild, Pride Guild, and Women's Guild. I don't see an Asians guild here. I don't see a men's guild here. And I don't see a white guild here. Because those groups of people, they don't want to celebrate. Or do they want to celebrate what they have on the screen here to make it seem like they really care about you? They don't. If you fit their agenda, if you fit their ideology, yeah, they're gonna make sure that your voice gets heard because they want to push that ideology, but they don't care about you. They just want to marginalize you and use you. Okay? Well, marginalize might not be the right word, but they definitely want to use you. And if you want more proof that Twitch just looks at all of their content creators as payday, let's look at this announcement from July of this year. Monetization for all sounds like a great idea until you realize what they're really doing is from day one, yes, you can be monetized on Twitch. You can earn money, but you can't withdraw it. I like to call this monetization for all Twitch's closed loop economy. So say it with me, guys. Twitch's closed loop economy. Because what this effectively does, if you don't meet the affiliate requirements, and they have lowered them a little bit, but if you have not met the affiliate requirements, you're earning money that you can only then spend on Twitch. Let's say you get 2 subs. What's that? $12 USD, right? You get 6 if you're lucky. We'll just take the even half. You get 6. And then you can turn around and spend that on Twitch. You can buy bits, or you can get a sub to somebody else. So you get a sub to somebody else. That $12 that came into Twitch's coffers is now going to go to a second or a third hand, a second streamer, a third hand, and that's only $3 that they might be able to pull out if they meet the affiliate requirements. Well, now Twitch is keeping pretty much 75% as opposed to 50%. And what they're doing is they're preying on these people that are probably never going to work hard enough to get affiliate status. It's not a hard level. It's not hard to get to. If we look at the requirements here, they've lowered the requirements a little bit. You only have to stream for 4 hours, stream on 4 different days. You still have to average 3 consecutive viewers. Your average viewership has to be at 3, which is where a lot of people do get caught up. And they've lowered the followers from 50 to 25. So it is easier to become affiliate, but until you do, you're just making more money for Twitch. You're never going to see that money. And I know of, if you look at the numbers, even me, who was never a successful streamer on Twitch. I think I averaged somewhere between 5 and 10 viewers a month, but my average viewership was somewhere between 5 and 10. This is a hobby for me. It's not my main career. I'm never going to make money. It's not my intent with any of my content creation. But I know plenty of content creators who've tried and have a hard time maintaining that 3. And so while they make it easier, they're also to become affiliate, they're also making sure that more money stays in their pocket until you become affiliate. They're going to fleece you. They're going to use you. They're going to pimp you out so that you can earn more money for them, but you can't spend it anywhere else but on Twitch. And so while this may look like, oh yeah, we care about you, we want you to be monetized and be successful from day one, horse crap. They just want more money. More examples of Twitch not really caring about their content creators. This was a blog post on October 8th. What we're doing to keep you safe at TwitchCon. And this was ahead of or before TwitchCon, but after a bunch of content creators said, I don't feel comfortable going to TwitchCon this year. And so Twitch felt that they needed to get ahead of it and basically say, hey, we care about you. We're going to have robust security measures throughout the venue. Does somebody need to explain to them what robust means? Including screening procedures at all entry points. Well, we know that's crap. We know people were able to get through them. And rigorous access control protocols. Our dedicated security team works in close partnership with the San Diego Police Department and other local law enforcement agencies to ensure a safe environment for everyone. We're going to have a command center. Security personnel. And I'm not even going to get into all of what Twitch screwed up at TwitchCon in regards to just security and their security personnel. Attendance policies. You have to have a ticket. Basically, if you get in trouble, Yeah, you're going to be booted from the venue and you'll be barred from future Twitch events. So this was something that they felt strong enough to post something about. But we know even after the Emeru situation, the situation with VTubers gifts getting thrown out, and you can't convince me, you cannot convince me that they were thrown out. That those security personnel, in other words, event staff, you know, they took off with them. There's no doubt about it. You don't just throw out all these gifts. There's no way. And it's like, I don't know if you guys have watched The Sopranos, but there's I forget which award show that Christopher and one of his buddies end up punching Lauren Bacall to get her goodie bag, right? This is when I think it may have been Vegas, wherever it was, Vegas or Los Angeles, whatever. Christopher goes out there to convince Ben Kingsley to play the main role in his movie, and you know he looks at all this swag that the celebrities are getting for free, and then they decide, oh, we're gonna heist it. Well, I mean, these guys didn't punch the VTubers, but you can't convince me they threw out this crap. I shouldn't say crap, these gifts, but they definitely stole it. You cannot convince me they didn't steal it. There's no way. And then after the incident with Emeru, you know, they post this soy boy, hey, the safety and security of all those attending TwitchCon is our highest priority. The behavior displayed by the individual involved in the incident yesterday involving a high-profile streamer was completely unacceptable and deeply upsetting. Well, if you really cared about safety and security, you would have actually had checkpoints that actually checked people. There's videos out there of people just bypassing checkpoints, people going and sitting at streamers' tables, their stands, wherever they were going to meet their fans. And the situation with Emeru should never have happened. I have worked security at events myself, concerts, wrestling events. This is not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. But Twitch is afraid to actually do anything to protect their streamers, to protect their content creators, because then they might get backlash from the viewers. And the viewers, like I said yesterday about viewers being important to the content creators, the viewers are important to Twitch because that's what pays the bills. And so they're just going to let their content creators sit out there like lambs to the slaughter. And they don't care. They're going to say they do. You know, Clancy even came out, let's go right here. Twitch failed in our response to the assault on Emeru at 2025 TwitchCon San Diego. Now, if you listen to Dan's initial response, it sounded almost like he was blaming Emeru. And so this is why this post came out. He's doing damage control. And I've said this on Twitter before, and I'll say it again. I based on how Dan handles things and based on how his staff handles stuff like equally applying the terms of service, I firmly believe that Hassan has something on Dan Clancy to blackmail him with. That's just a side comment right there. But Dan, you cannot be CEO of a company like this and just not take ownership of things. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Dan, everything falls on you. It doesn't matter who else is responsible for it. As the CEO, the buck stops with you. You know, if Twitch felt strongly enough about protecting their content creators ahead of the event, and then they failed to do so, your initial response was, again, horse crap. And I don't think Twitch as a company or a subsidiary is going to be anything successful, I should say, until Dan Clancy steps down, until the staff, they clean house with the staff, which used to have a stranglehold on the streaming market, and they don't anymore. You know, Kick is growing. You know, it's the little, black-headed, or what's the word I'm looking for? Black sheep of the family. There we go. Black sheep of the family. You know, YouTube is growing on streaming. And Twitch has got competition, and normally competition breeds success. It forces you to innovate. It forces you to change. It forces you to meet market demands. But instead, Twitch is just happy pushing their ideology, saying the right things to make people happy. And at the end of the day, they just want your money. They want you to listen to and believe their ideology. They want little parrots out there pushing their ideology. They want to make more money. They're a company. They should try to make more money. For me, what really pissed me off, and while myself, I never served in the military, I serve the United States in a different capacity. I have family members, my father, my father-in-law, my grandfather, other family members who have served in the military. And while this is cute by Twitch, this is a cute little tweet by Twitch. On Veterans Day, we're saluting our service members on Twitch. Check them out on the live, or check them out live on the front page shelf. And then they said, are you a veteran who wants to be showcased? Express your interest here. Here's the problem. They don't post it until noon on Veterans Day. Now, if we go back to International Women's Day, well, they posted that a day early, right? They don't care about veterans. And you know, the community note here, of course, definitely speaks to Frogan, but that's been beaten to death. If they really cared about veterans, why do this the day of? Why not do this the day before, a week before? Hey, we want to celebrate. We want to thank our veterans. We want to showcase you. No, this is just some, you know, hey, look, this is what we're doing to try to appease a group of folks who feel marginalized because of your past inactions when it comes to folks like Frogan, Hassan, and folks like them that can talk whatever they want to talk about, whoever they want to talk about, and they don't have I won't say they don't have any, but they have very little repercussions. Minimal compared to, oh, I don't know, Tectone calling somebody who's obese a fat ass. I'm sorry, but, you know, those aren't the same thing. And you're going to bring the hammer down on Tectone because he doesn't fit your ideology. He won't just parrot what you want to parrot. So at the end of the day, I don't know if Twitch will ever be in my future plans. I've stopped watching folks on Twitch. If they're on Twitch, I hope they stream on Kick or YouTube. I try to watch people on YouTube. There's a few streamers who only stream on Kick and YouTube, or Kick and Twitch. They don't stream on YouTube. I get that. And so that's fine. But at the end of the day, Twitch doesn't care about you. They just want to use you to earn money and to push their ideology. And it's about damn time that as a whole, we say enough's enough. If you're still streaming on Twitch, I don't hold that against you. Use them. Use them to make your bank. Use them to push your voice, to share your voice with people. But don't think for a second that they ever have your back. All right, folks, that's it for today. Until next time, y'all take care of yourselves and each other and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.